or evil power, this, and that. Let's look at number 2 here. Number 2 is the forbidding consultation of occultists in person. The Lord has told everyone that believes in him, everyone that's a child of God, every one of the people of God, they should not consult with occultism, occultic powers. In Deuteronomy chapter 18, we're reading from verse 10. In verse 10 it says, there shall not be found among you anyone that maketh a son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. Look at verse 11. In verse 11 it tells us, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirit, or wizard, or a necromancer. Those who will say they want to talk to the dead. The Lord said, none of his children, none of his people will consult with necromancers or will consult with a familiar spirit. If anybody comes and is coming with familiar spirit in him or in her, and then he comes to the church, he's not a member of the church until he repents, until he gives up all the association and consultation with evil power, with secret cult. He's not a child of God. He may pretend and be baptized in water. That baptism does not make him or her a child of God. He might, change the outward expression and dress like we dress. That dressing does not make a girl, a lady, a woman, does not make that person a child of God if he's still having the familiar spirit and the spirit of the dead consulting them. It says you'll not consult, you'll not be a consulter with familiar spirits. Look at verse 12. In verse 12, for all that do these things, you might go to church, all that do these things, they might come here, associate with us in our church. They might even become workers, whatever they are. God knows them and God knows you. It says, for all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. It tells us in verse 14. In verse 14, it says, for these nations which thou shalt possess, hearkened unto the observer of times. Those who you use the zodiac and they say you are born this month, look at your future. That month, look at your future. Those who consult that and they're consulting evil, or they're looking at the stars to control their future or to predict to them where they will be, or they're giving their palms to the palm reader, that as they look at their palms, then they begin to tell them this will happen. All those people are consultants with familiar spirits and with the occult, and those who allow that initiation, and then they make a mark in the body and then they mix it with something, they say drink that, that's initiation. And you are consulting with evil spirit, and the judgment of God will come upon such a person. And it says, the Lord thy God has not permitted you to so do. So to do. We're looking at Acts of the Apostles, and we're looking at chapter 19.